My new book, Facts That Aren't True, is out now. Don't forget about my other book, Rational Answers to Stupid Questions. Click the link in the description now.
Well, this is my theory on it when it comes to a creator. I believe there was absolutely nothing. Like just pitch blackness, void, nothing. No matter, no dust, nothing. And then somehow, some way, the creator willed himself into consciousness, meaning he knew what was, and there was nothing. And then he started to create, right? No, this is just my theory. He started to create the angels. Now, he started to create the universe, okay? And as he was creating the universe, the angels saw it, right? Now, imagine if you were an angel, and imagine if you were watching this happen. And this is the fact why most believers say that the creator deserves all the praise. Because wouldn't you agree? If there was nothing, and this one being willed himself to have a conscience and to start create. Like you said earlier, we could just be a figment of his imagination, but he had a conscience to be able to create, correct? And the angels saw this. Would you agree that that being who started to create deserves all the work, all the praise and glory?
Uh, I wouldn't say praise and glory because that does not make him benevolent or anything like that. But I think the biggest problem with this is you're saying the universe is all in motion, and by motion, let's just say the universe changes states, because if we want to be like as reductionist as we can, I think that's what we would mean by that. And so there must be something that began it changing in its first state. Okay. But then you're saying your creator was just existing and on its own because it began like having thoughts and creating things or whatever. Yeah. It began changing its own states. So you've just added an extra thing for not really much of a reason on there. So I would just, I don't know, I would try to come up with something better than that. But just because a creator creates our universe, that wouldn't make it worthy of worship. What if a creator created a universe where children get bone cancer and die miserably at the age of 6?
Well, I think that what you're going into,
awkward.
What you're going into is the world, right? And I believe that when the creator decided to create the world and humans, he made laws, right? Physical laws, the laws of gravity and all that stuff.
Laws.
Yeah, well, that's okay. So when he made this, he made
Sorry.
man the centerpiece of his artwork. So us being far more special than any other creature on this earth, like the things that we can do and no other creature can do it, just solidifies how much more special we are than any creature on this earth. Like no creature even comes close to being able to do the things that we can do. Yet just like the laws,
I
the
had nothing
tax
to do with
laws.
anything I said.
No, I know. I'm just kind of going into what I believe, how you because you were explaining the laws of this world, talking about cancer. Those are laws that are
It's not a law of the world. It's just something that happens. It certainly doesn't have to happen. And God certainly, if I were going to create my own world, I wouldn't create a world where that happens. People could fall down and get boo-boos. People could even lie to each other. There would be tornadoes in this world that I would create, possibly, but not like bone cancer for little kids. That ain't, and I certainly wouldn't create a giant global network of people whose idea it is to like evangelize my ideas and have that entire structure be made almost entirely of pedophiles. I wouldn't do that either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then how else are they going to afford their Ferraris?
Oh,
So,
man.
what I think what you're doing is you're saying that like God made it like this when I don't think he made people. He made man so that man could make his own decision. Okay.
No, because God knows everything that will happen. That means that God knew that if I create the world exactly this way, that means that Hitler will be born and he will exterminate 6 million people or 6 million Jews. I've always, this is weird. The number is 6 million, but now I think about it, it's like, well, I mean, they exterminated the handicapped and gypsies and all kinds of people. Is it 6 million in total? Or just, I don't know, actually. That's weird. That's just that's an intrusive thought I just had just now.
Well,
but
I understand completely. But
Jews are people. Oh, wow, really?
I understand
Anyways.
completely.
Yeah, so God knew that would happen, and he did it anyways. That would be like me making a bomb. No, 11 million in total? Dang, that's fucking horrible. So that would be like me making a bomb, knowing it's going to go off, but then saying the bomb killed all those people.
I mean,
Like different numbers in the chat right now. What the hell?
Yeah, I'm seeing between 11 and 14.
if you're gonna use God's all-knowing to say that like his creation was in like malicious, it's not, because
If I make a bomb and I know it's going to explode, that's not a malicious act.
just because you know something doesn't mean you want it to happen.
I'm responsible for it. Yes, it does. What are you talking about?
Did God not intervene in all around the world? I mean, most tribal.
He allegedly picks and chooses to intervene very rarely.
Okay, but he did try to intervene, and he did try to stop these things that are happening. But man decides to do what man wants to do. I mean, that's what most religions.
Why would God stop something that he set forth in motion? That would imply that God either is not in control of his creation or changes his mind or something, which does not fit the character of the God I'm pretty sure you believe in.
I believe that God is not in control of our decision. I believe that he allows us to make the decision whether to, follow his standard of how he wants us to live or disobey it. And
yeah, but he knows exactly what we're going to do because he designed all of these things. Okay. That's like, I didn't make the bomb. I didn't make the bullet kill that person. The bullet was just going really fast. That's not me. I only pulled the trigger. I didn't explode the gunpowder. I didn't fly through the air. The bullet did that.
You're a beta. You can do that anyway.
No, I understand what you're saying, but do you understand that I'm saying that we all have the decision still? Just because he knows, you're probably going to go this way, and he's thinking to himself, I'm going to send ways out for y'all. Okay, I'm going to send men that I've spoken to, or I'm going to show y'all miracles, and maybe y'all can turn from that direction and come towards me.
Yeah, but he knows who will and who will not ahead of time. You can't surprise God. You can't do something God didn't know you were already going to do. So there are no tests. There is no decision making. It's all been predetermined.
I mean, I believe you're correct. I don't believe in tests. I believe that there's far more going on than us as humans can understand, right? Because if he did create the angels, and some angels did decide to rebel, who are far more knowledgeable than us and understand things that we will never even be able to comprehend, then there's a bigger force against us than we can even ever fathom. Okay, so like you have to consider everything. You know what I mean? You can't just. I feel like you just can't say, oh, because the world is reckless and man does this and mustache man does that. Therefore, God made this man to do exactly what he did. But in almost all religions, it says that there's another force that we're fighting against. And like I said, for us to try to fathom what that other force is really trying to accomplish, is insanity, because we're held and bound by the laws of this world. Our minds can only know so much compared to something that is living outside of the universe, something that is watching us daily. Do you kind of understand the concept of what I'm thinking?
Like I get what you mean, but the problem is you can't maintain that and maintain that God knows all and created all, because then, like the guy that builds the bomb that he knows will go off, he's not just culpable but the reason why it happened.